hurt feelings, and so they'd rather just let you dangle in the wind instead of just telling you, yeah, your show sucks and you're not coming back.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't pick it up. They don't want that moment, so they're just hoping that you figure it out and go somewhere happily.
Right.
You're right. He's exactly right. It's based on fear.
Yeah, because they're all about you for a while. They praise you.
Yeah.
Oh, they love you for the 30 seconds that you're on their air, and then you don't exist.
Yeah.
If they didn't blow so much smoke, it wouldn't be as hard to take the down. Like if they really make you believe that you're somebody special,
right.
and then like, I am somebody special, and then you come right back down to reality, and that's the hard part.
You're hanging out, you're laughing, and you're in these big fucking offices. It happened to me and Anthony at NBC with that dumb XFL pregame. It was a joke show in the end, but whatever.
Yeah. So is the XFL definitely not coming back?
It's not coming back. But we filmed stuff at Giant Stadium, and the guy that we were taking all the meetings with in his office, and bringing other guys in, you got to meet these guys, they're hilarious, and all that, right? Then we're in an elevator after filming all day, and the guy wouldn't even say hi to us. The same guy.
Really?
Yeah. So, that was pretty much
the weird part
for
me
us.
is that you have all these people that are working on it that you like the makeup people and the producers and all this, and then you just never see them again.
Yeah, until you hit another show, and hey, remember me?
Oh, yeah, I worked with you on that thing.
Well, the good thing is, though, you've had a few experiences with that, so you kind of know the pattern of what's happening. Cancel jokes.
Anyway.
Tom, I didn't mean that. That was hurtful.
Michael, where are you going? You're going to be at Caroline's, right?
Yeah, Caroline's this weekend.
Really?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5 shows there on the Broadway.
Nice.
What a great guy. I fucking love Caroline's.
It is. It's wonderful.
Yeah, but there's nothing worse than when there's not people there. Like
Which is what I'm expecting. I'm fully expecting it to be empty. I had a dream last night that it was empty.
You just hear them pulling the curtain while you're doing your act. some kid doesn't know how to close it. Chicken, those little fucking curtain rods are clanging.
That's brutal.
Nothing worse than when you come in through the kitchen, you go out the dressing room, and you're like, please, God, don't let there be a fucking curtain. And when you peek out in the curtains, you're like, oh, I'm worthless. This is the 8 o'clock Saturday show.
But when you get the second curtain, that's when you know you suck. It's around the stage.
When I did it, they cut the stage in half with the curtain. It was terrible. It was really embarrassing.
There was an open mic on the other side of the curtain.
That's gotta suck.
That's one of my fondest memories. Is Ross was headlining there, and the curtain was drawn. So I'm on one side, and Florentine is on the other side of the curtain, and we're just groaning, and the whole crowd is groaning at Rich. 'Cause you know how a groan is contagious? So like Rich would say something, we'll lose some weight, like, oh, and then people are like, oh.
It's the worst.
Oh, it was a Sunday night show and ruined his fucking set. It was so great. Nice contagious groans.
That's hilarious.
You get back to New York often, Michael?
I do because I live here, so it makes it easy.
I thought you were in L.A.
No.
I never see you around.
I actually live in Connecticut, but I consider myself New York. I'm in New York adjacent.
Yeah. I don't see you around in the usual spots. That's all.
I don't know what your usual spots are.
Here.
Here would
Central
be a
Park
star.
late at night.
Yeah, behind that tree.
Why isn't Michael here?
The ramrod. Oh.
Is that a bar?
Yeah, it's a
I'm
gay bar.
pretending to ask. We're in
Connecticut's
Connecticut.
great, right?
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I live in a little town in Fairfield County. I live in the woods. We just built a house, and so the house itself was, it was just woods. We cleared it, and we built a little house there.
And it's cheap to live in Connecticut.
No.
Oh,
I don't think so.
Really?
No, it's really
I
expensive.
thought taxes were a lot cheaper.
Yeah, it's cheaper than, I don't know, Manhattan, but it's still really
Westchester's
expensive.
fucking I know a guy who pays $40,000 a year in taxes. $40,000 a year for his taxes. Right.
Big house?
It's an all right house, yeah. It's fucking ridiculous. $40,000 a year. Up where I live.
We don't know where you live.
What do you pay?
Westchester.
Oh.
Westchester.
Bobby's got a nice house.
I'm not
What do
fucking
you
saying
pay?
where I live. Like, what do I pay?
What do you pay?
I just got mine. Mine was $13,500.
Oh, you have a little place.
Yeah, his house is all right for 40. It sounds like a shithole for 13.
It's too bad. And you have a family in
I
it.
got a studio.
It's actually it's an apartment.
Wow, we're the whole family. That's sad for your son.
Really, when I first got my house, though, I was so yeah, you know my house. You've been up there.
Yeah.
I loved it. I love it. And I showed Tom. He's like, it's small. It's like, fuck you. You live in a fucking 2-bedroom.
It's nice. It's adorable.
quaint.
You can call that a house.
It's an SUV. It's nice.
I hate it. It bugs me when you do that.
When you have a nice house in Connecticut, does it make you not want to come into the city?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Oh God, I actually woke up an hour late today to get here. I was doing 90 on the merit to get here.
Really?
I was.
Now, when you do Caroline's, will you stay in the city or will you go back
I've
and
asked
forth?
them to get me a hotel, and I'm assuming they will because I just said on the radio that they will.
Right.
That's a great place to ask on the air. Would you get me up? Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Very generous people at
Is
Caroline's.
Great Charles here right now with you?
Yeah, he is.
Let's bring him in. Let's make sure he
Oh, yeah, where is that guy?
Let's bring him in and make sure he gets you a hotel.
He was doing a little step and fetch it when I came in. He said, "Can I get you something?" And I said,
okay.
"Tea." So he was off to get
Should
me.
have said a hotel. Hey, how do you pick property like just to all of a sudden build on? Like, why not?
It was
just
my
buy-
wife. It was right after the crash, the housing crash. There was a piece of land for sale, and my wife just liked it, and we got it very inexpensively, and so we bought it.
What,
And
2008 around there?
Yeah, 2008, 2009, and so yeah.
How big's the house?
It for Connecticut, it's not big. It's 3,800 square feet.
For Bobby, that's huge.
Yeah, Bobby, how big's your house? I don't know.
It's 800 square feet.
That can't be true.
That is not true. No, that is absolutely not true.
3,800 square
mine's,
feet. That's a lot.
2,000
Yeah,
something.
but in where I live, in Connecticut, like you know,
Wow.
there's 10,000 square foot homes. Is not that unusual.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's kind of poor for Connecticut.
Yeah.
Yeah, but rich compared to you.
Right. Exactly. Duck quacks don't echo.
Is it how
On
many
DVD.
floors is it? I want to know about this home.
9 floors.
That's pretty good.
Very narrow.
Straight up.
Very narrow.
A winding staircase.
And a pole.
One toilet on the 9th floor.
Lives in a lighthouse.
Nice.
You like being a homeowner, though. It's very different than living in the city where everyone does everything.
Where do
for
you live?
In the city. So I mean, I own my apartment, but
Right.
I don't have to deal with all that horse
It's a
shit.
pain in the
The
ass.
lawn and the
Like
driveway,
snow.
and the snow,
But you
and
know
the
what you have to
gutters.
do?
You don't have to deal with being a man.
Yeah.
Neighbors.
You don't do any shit
You hire
either.
some ethnics. They come. They do everything. It's wonderful.
They can't
I
even
do
speak
stuff.
English, just snapping points in gutters. El gutters. Okay.
Gutters.
Gutierrez.
But you built yours from scratch. So,
did.
No,
so
I mean-
yours is brand fucking
Brand
new,
new.
which is great.
Smells great.
Yeah.
The toilets all work. It's fantastic.
How long
I had to
have you been
replace a lot of shit in my house.
How long have I been married?
Sucks.
No, in the house.
Oh, since September.
Fucking brand new house.
I know it's nice.
You want a
Bobby
house?
maybe
Would you
want
move
a
out,
house.
Jimmy? Would you ever move out of the
Jimmy's
city?
talked about it.
I
over
have
the
to be
years.
here in the morning, and I have to be here at night for spots and stuff.
Right.
So it's like I kind of like living.
I
here.
get in the. I swear to God, today I got in a half hour. I got here.
I mean, I like living in the city though. Like you know me. I'm just the Big Apple guy.
But also, you don't. But you don't have a life.
No family, right?
You're also the Adam's apple guy.
It is harder to get those ladies to drive up to Westchester. Oh, Daddy, I don't have a car. I'm a driver. I know that. I know, Angel. Right, yeah.
You got a long driveway, Daddy. It is. I wish. It is great that you built it though. Did you pick everything? Did you have a designer, architect? Did you pick all of it, or
We
did your
hired
wife
an
do
architect. My wife is an interior
that's
designer,
great.
so she did the interiors, and then I just wrote checks, and it was horrible.
Lots and lots of checks.
Yeah, we have
A
two
lot of
kids.
checks.
Oh, I know. Okay.
Yeah, 14, 11, stay away, and
Stop asking questions.
Move on from that, please. Thank you.
I just had a tree guy, a driveway guy, a drainage guy up at my house, and I've had 8 of them there. You have to keep going through them.
Yeah.
Everyone says a different price. Everyone says a different thing, and you don't know who's fucking. You just don't know who they are.
What are you trying to get done?
I got to get the lady who owned the house was there the whole from when it was built until she died.
Oh, that fucking
and
bitch.
she didn't do shit to the house. Oh, she didn't do anything.
Glad she's dead.
The backyard. The backyard.
Did she die in the house?
No, thank God. No, thank God. But it's but I don't have a basement. I don't have an attic. It's like just a ranch.
oh, you got to get a basement.
I don't fucking want
You got to
one.
get an attic.
Yeah.
I don't want one.
I'm gonna put you in touch with my
Yeah.
basement and attic guy.
Maybe you could live in Michael's basement.
You got a shed.
I have to get a garage. Not a shed. I have to get a garage.
Why?
Because I need that space for storage.
So you don't have a garage either.
I have a little garage.
Your house sounds great.
Maybe Tom's right. It is very small.
He's saving up for a roof.
I can't believe your taxes are so low.
You've been to my house.
I love your house.
I like
That's a
his
great
house.
Yeah, but Bobby,
Yeah,
it's a nice
you've been to
big
my house
yard.
too. I got a huge yard and a front yard because I just had a kid, so it's great for him. But it's
Throw them outside.
yeah. Well, you can't now. I got to get a fence because now he walks.
Right.
He just runs to the street.
You should have gotten a fence by now.
I got to get a fence too. I guess it's a fucking. I can't believe how much money you just spend on this shit. I mean,
But it's an investment, Bobby.
Yeah, bad investment. It's a terrible
It's a
investment.
horrible investment.
We couldn't sell our old house.
Really?
No, so we're renting it out.
Really?
Yeah, it was. I've been in that house 14 years. I'm gonna lose money on it by the
Oh
time
my
we sell it.
God.
Wow, really?
I thought the market was going back up now.
Apparently not in my town.
Where's your
Where's
town?
Dresden
Where's that?
in Germany was firebombed in World War II.
Did you really think? Did you really think
Vonnegut lived
anybody
there.
in this room was going to get that joke?
No, I
Kurt
thought
Vonnegut wrote a lot about that.
Dresden, Connecticut.
Me and Jim both were like, Dresden? Yeah. Is that in Jersey? Isn't that where Voss lives?
I didn't understand that.
Voss actually lives in the town that I grew up in Hillsborough, New Jersey, and I left because people like Rich Voss lived there.
We're going to stay there.
So yeah, when I get a house, I kind of would. But I just, there's guys I have when it makes you want to. You know, what made me want a house. One of the guys that works for us, Eric. I saw his house. I'm like, I want to put my shit on the second floor. Like I would just kind of
Just
like
have more
What
room.
about get yourself a
Move
nice,
around.
weekend house somewhere?
Yeah, a little mountain house.
If I had that kind of money, I'd buy a two. I have a 1-bedroom. I'd buy a 2-bedroom.
Yeah.
If I had the kind of money for a weekend house, I would buy a bigger
But
apartment.
see, you're away on
Right.
the weekends doing your
Yeah.
stand-up, so that won't
You
work.
would
always thought
love,
you
you
had
would
a
love a house. The
two-bedroom.
airports are the same distance that was from when I lived on 47th Street in 9th.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm
It's
not
all the
That's
same.
not true.
Absolutely. It
Really?
is. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how it works out, but it's the same thing.
To get to JFK's?
Because you don't have to
JFK,
go
same
around the
thing.
city
Right.
instead
You
of
just
through it.
you go right over the
Use the
Williamsburg
bridges.
or the Throg,
Yeah.
Whitestone, yeah.
You don't have to cross over Manhattan.
It's
You have to
fucking-
drive yourself because cars
Yeah,
don't come?
which is even fucking better. I mean, the car is the same price, like $100 and something bucks.
Yeah, I
but-
hate that when a fucking driver picks me up and drops me
No,
right
but
off.
it's a-
I'd much rather fucking find parking.
Yeah, park and get a shuttle with your luggage.
It's the same. It's the same price.
Yeah, I feel earthy, like a regular guy.
Yeah, get off the flight and scrape all the ice off.
Exactly.
Then go
Love
up to your
that shit.
unplowed driveway.
Yeah. See,
No,
It's much better.
I gotta get my driveway done.
That's one of the things I like about where I live too. The same thing. You got someone to fix all your stuff. You have a guy to get your little stuff like that.
You
makes
still
life
have that.
easier.
You just have to go through them. There's not one. You have a super that does it all and contracts everything out for you. When you do it, you have to get all. I have to go through I have to find a tree guy. I have to find a driveway guy. And you have to negotiate.
Right.
It's
but
a
you
fucking,
can't call like 1 o'clock in the morning and say, "Hey, look, something's not working." They come up and fix it.
Yeah, no. I have a the guy who
I guess
redid
so, all
my
right.
inside of my house. I can call. He does everything. So he did plumbing. We ripped the whole inside out and redid it all.
Okay.
So he'll come up and do whatever. But it's a pain in the. To own a house is a fucking pain in the ass because it never ends. It never seems to end with the money. You know, you got to, because you always want to do something new. As soon as you're done, you're just like, oh, let's put a garage.
Right.
Has anything broken yet? Is there anything that was put in that wasn't what it was supposed to be?
Not that I can think of. No.
Because everyone's got like a horrible contractor story.
We had a good contractor. We had a great architect. It just the cliche is true, which is that it takes twice as long and costs twice as much.
Yeah.
Right.
That is all true.
How long did it take?
About a year and a half, I think, from the time they started building.
Wow. To build one house?
It's a
No,
nice
I'm sorry. We
house.
built a compound. I'm sorry, Jim. I should have clarified. Yeah, to build one house.
There was a big space in Waco available. No, but that's a long time for a house. That's quite a while. It's like
Yeah, it's a long time. Well, part of the problem was my wife, because she's a genius. She bought this piece of property that's literally just on rock. It's just on. So we had to drill down, and that took a long time.
Jeez.
so the money you saved on the fact that you bought
That's right.
property, you probably made up in the fact that it was in a rock.
Yeah, we
it's rock.
reinvested that money into digging holes in the ground. That's a growing sector.
Oh, this is why no one built on this.
Now I get it. Yes. I've been looking around for Greg Charles. I'm trying to get you a hotel room, but he's not back yet.
Michael's, I think, probably got enough juice. He'll get you a room.
No, we're going to make sure you get a room.
How's the Gaffigan show going?
Good. I'm shooting the Jim Gaffigan show, starring Jim Gaffigan.
What is
Yeah,
that?
Michael's got a big part on the Jim Gaffigan show.
Beautiful.
We're shooting 10 episodes. It's on TV Land of all places.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And Comedy Central's
And
also
Comedy
gonna air it.
Central.
Wow.
That's weird.
Yeah, they're both on both.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Well, it's Viacom Properties, I guess.
Has that been done before?
I don't think so.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
other ones.
No,
that
this
done
time-
that.
Usually the way it works is like a network show will then re-air on like a cable
Right.
network like the next week or something. I think this is unusual in terms of just like basic cable to basic cable.
Yeah.
Right.
But again,
But it was
Viacom
good. I
is
saw
always
the
it.
pilot. You were very funny.
Thank you very much.
What's
Yeah.
it about?
It's just like his life. It's like any one of these stand-up comedian shows, but his life is, he's got a wife and 5
Five kids,
kids,
yeah, yeah.
Gross.
living in this tiny apartment in New York.
5 fucking
Five
kids.
kids?
It's
It's
gross.
disgusting.
Jim's life is gross.
Yeah.
Why is
He's got 5 kids and his wife all in a little apartment.
It's not a little.
They're not a little apartment,
Well,
It
now it's nicer.
It was.
But it was
They
small.
lived in just a regular sized 2-bedroom for years. They finally just bought this
5
other
kids.
place.
With Gaffigan money, he fucking sells out. Gaffigan will do 6 nights in the Nokia. It's amazing to me. That
Well,
guy-
now he's moved. Now he's got a nice.
Dude, he's been
He
selling
should
it
have
for a long time
Oh, yeah.
too. He's
should have
talking
a
about
6
bacon.
bedroom.
That's all he does. All he does is talk about bacon for 20 years.
That's all I think about.
It's going to be a funny show.
Greg Charles.
Greg Charles.
We got Michael Ian Black in studio playing, of course, the club you work at, Caroline's this weekend.
Why am I here?
He needs a hotel
Needs a
room.
hotel.
He doesn't want to go back to Connecticut.
Oh, I wish I'd. Well, it's not my end of it. I'll call Lewis.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, Louis.
Greg looks like an old rocker,
Oh,
doesn't
Jesus.
he?
Yes.
Can I leave now?
No,
I
no.
gotta go get the hotel.
He looks like Malcolm McDowell.
He's gonna kill me. Can I just get out of here?
No,
he's complimenting you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
What's
it's-
wrong with
Get
you?
back on that.
An old
Get
rocker
on
is
the
a
move.
You
The work
definitely.
you've had done looks very.
You look good.
Thank you. So do you.
For a guy that used to be in Def Leppard.
Okay, I'm out. Goodbye.
That's right.
The drummer.
You look like Rick Allen's arm.
Wow, he really left.
He really didn't want to take shit.
Oh,
didn't
he
want-
got out. He fucking beat
He's
us.
smart. He's the smart
He
one.
stormed out
I
like
think we got
Bryan
your
Adams.
hotel room, though. I think
Yeah,
it's going to
thank
happen.
you very much. That was nice of you guys.
How to Be Amazing, the podcast. You're just starting that up?
I did, yeah. It's everybody has a podcast. I have like 3 of them, but How to Be Amazing is an interview show where I'm not even really trying to be funny. I'm just talking to people who do cool things, and we've done great people. The last one was this. The one that's up right now is this guy named Carl Tanner, who used to be a bounty hunter, was a bounty hunter,
Yeah.
turned into a world-class opera singer.
What?
He made that journey.
He made that
Yeah.
leap.
Yeah, he
not the typical path.
transitioned, as we say.
Yes.
But
Why did you become an opera singer? Well, I was catching people who had raped old ladies, and I said, why not belt out a tune? Wow, what an odd fucking...
It's an odd story.
Yeah.
How did he explain that?
Well, he'd always sung as a kid, but never pursued it, and I guess got tired of chasing bad guys around and step on a
Said, "Fuck
stage
it, I'm
and
gonna do this."
The soul
and went for
died.
it.
Does he look like an opera singer or a bounty
does.
hunter?
No, both actually. He's from Virginia. He's big, and he kind of looks. He could pass for either one.
Oh, wow. Dog the tenor.
But Amy Schumer was just on, and she was great, and a
does
lot
she
of
do?
cool people. I don't know.
Bounty hunter?
Yeah.
So what are some other interesting stories you've heard on there?
God
I like podcasts like that. I like podcasts that
They're
aren't just-
different and unique.
Yeah, that just feel like something like, oh, okay, that's kind of a
Right.
cool...
Papa's thing is
you know
great.
what an interesting
Yours
thing-
is good, Tom, with the old school radio thing.
I love
you do.
Tom
Thank you.
Yeah,
Tom the
because it's
Papa.
different.
Do you play it on your channel?
No, why would we do that? What are you crazy? Of course, you're in the rotation. I don't know where we're at with that. But
Yeah.
I'll have to take a look.
Here's an interesting story from How to Be Amazing. We interviewed this guy, Mike Masimoto, I think, who's an astronaut. And it was just this tiny detail, but I found it fascinating. When they go up in the shuttle that morning, the first time they're going up, to the heavens, they have their breakfast, and then they all get in a van, and they all drive over to the shuttle, and it goes away. And then they all carry literally a bagged lunch with them up onto the space shuttle, which I thought was such a weird little telling detail about just for them, it's like it's a job,
Right.
Is
That's
it the
It's
same space food or no? Because the space food, that dried food's all awful. Is this
I
like
asked.
real food?
No, they said the food's way better.
Oh, is it
now.
better?
They
It's
finally
still-
figured that that shit out.
They still gotta put the water in. It's still dehydrated, but apparently it's much better than it used to be.
Taking a van with a bagged lunch is like, that would be a hell gig. Like if you went to a show to do that.
No, they went from rockets to the space shuttle, but they didn't fix the food. It's all the technology.
Well, the brown paper bag technology has really gone through the roof.
What does he say about being up there?
I think what everybody says, that it's fucking cool, is the coolest thing you can do. I mean, he loves it.
A lot of astronauts say they have a
space.
different perspective of what's going on
Yeah,
on Earth
I mean,
when you see it from above. You're like, why the
think-
fuck are we fighting with each other?
I think they all have that. They come to that. Yeah, it's. I think for a lot of people, it's a spiritual event, and I think because a lot of them are scientists, they don't like to use that word, but I think it is pretty spiritual for a lot of them.
We have one coming in next week. This guy whose book we just got, Chris Hadfield. An astronaut's guide to life on Earth. I guess he's talking about space, about ingenuity and stuff.
Right.
But you can't have a boring interview with an astronaut.
No,
you just can't.
Because anything they say, if it ends with "in space," you're like, "Oh, that's fascinating." I took a nap. In space. Oh
my God.
How do you make that boring?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it's fascinating. A lot of them said they've gotten scared when they've done spacewalks because you technically are plummeting. That's what in gravity you're falling. So
Right.
it's like you're falling towards the Earth but just missing it. So a lot of them say they get out and it's actually really scary because you feel like you're going to fall and crash onto the planet.
no, you're not. There's zero
No.
G.
No, you are. That's when you reach when the fucking thing goes, you are technically falling. That's exactly what it is.
When the fucking
So
thing goes?
scientifically, you're
how did
saying
you
when
go-
the fucking thing goes.
What's the
Yes.
fucking
I don't mean to use such jargon.
He was about to explain this. Oh my God! Why? When the fucking thing goes,
I'm saying you are
Tony
you're
Soprano.
falling around the planet. You're
Yes,
falling around the
that's true,
planet.
but you're not descending, because if you were, the shuttle wouldn't be able to stay in orbit.
Right.
You're,
So you
you're locked
descend.
into an orbit.
The orbit is you're falling around the planet.
Everything is
Right,
falling.
I
It's like
understand
that's
what you're
why
saying.
Space shuttle's falling. You're falling when
so
you're
they
outside
say like
it.
when you're out there, it's just
Yeah.
a weird psychological thing. Like you feel like you're gonna fucking smash into. It's a fear,
Right.
And then not all of them have it
Because
but
your
I've heard
brain
them say
can't
that.
register that shit.
Yeah, you're still falling. I mean,
Yeah.
you still know what
everything
they
you
still know what they're doing.
up to that point is you're supposed to fall toward Earth in that situation.
Yeah.
If there was gravity.
No, I know, but it's your brain.
There is
fucking-
gravity.
Right.
This is
They
the-
are dealing with gravity. Of course, they're dealing with gravity. They're right above the planet. I forget what the percent of gravity that they're dealing with. I've heard different one. No, but they absolutely have gravity. They don't. I don't believe they're technically zero gravity. They say that, but I don't think it is zero gravity.
Somewhere right
Probably
now,
close.
Neil deGrasse Tyson is laughing at us.
But
when
I've
you
heard,
the fucking thing goes,
With your bagged lunch.
you understand, and then it comes back downs.
yeah.
Let's try to get Michio on.
Or just let's say Dr. Steve. We know a doctor who knows a lot about physics.
Who hates Michio Kaku?
Hates him.
Hates
Why?
him.
Why?
Get Dr. Steve
Because
on
he
real
doesn't like
fast
the
if you
way.
can.
Well, Brian Greene is better. Neil deGrasse Tyson is better. Who's the other guy?
Brian Greene was
Tyson's
amazing.
great.
We had another guy last week, 2 or 2
I
weeks
talked to
ago.
him on How to Be Amazing. He
He's
was
great, right?
Amazing, great.
Brian
Yeah.
Greene's great.
He's not the British guy, right?
No,
I think-
no.
Who's the British guy?
Oh,
we just
that's
had?
what I'm thinking.
No, we
Russell
had,
Peters.
The
No.
British guy that's teamed up with the comic.
Yes.
Fuck. We just had him on.
The British
Ricky
guy.
Gervais.
Elton John.
Whatever.
Faye Dunaway?
Somebody's got it. What else?
I don't remember, but
What
Joe
else?
Pesci.
maybe I'm wrong, but I
I
know
feel like
that,
he was Brian Greene, but he was the other
Brian
guy.
Austin Green.
You know what?
That's probably
Steve will know. Dr. Steve will know.
Oh, Green Day. The band Green Day.
Oh, Green Day.
Yeah, they're
You mean
great.
Green Day?
When the thing goes,
You're going to lose your bag lunch.
when
'cause
the
you're-
because the fucking thing is falling all the time.
you fucking,
And you get out of that shit. Let me tell you something. You walk out of that shit, it's fucking scary. Dude, I'm not scared. I don't get fucking scared by shit. Nothing fucking scares me. Except when you step out of the spaceship. I get
oh,
fucking...
man.
You step out of that
It's like
fucking
you're
thing.
that's why you
falling
got to keep shooting one up there, because you put them up, they just come
Done.
right back down.
I'm telling you, look down, you think differently on the world. Like, as I'm putting this fucking nuclear satellite out here to fucking kill people, why are we fighting? Why are we fighting? Why the fuck are we fighting with each other? There's Afghanistan right there, I think.
I'm falling right towards it.
Hey, look, I'm peeing on Afghanistan. Look at that. I whipped it out. I'm peeing on Afghanistan.
Ah, it's on my
face. In space.
Why isn't my pee falling? It's in my face.
It's Brian Cox.
Brian
I knew
Cox.
his name was Brian.
Oh, Brian
The
Cox.
English guy's Brian Cox. Yes.
I'm
and then
asking
there's a
Dr.
Brian
Steve to
Greene
call
too.
in.
That's my mantra.
I think they're calling him.
Okay.
To answer some of these questions. What
Yeah.
happened to Michio Kaku? He doesn't want to do our show
No,
anymore.
I saw him in the building the other day. He's like a little older now, a little slower. He's a very odd duck, as they say.
a little slower.
Yeah, getting older. He's walking a little slower. and still he's never recognized me once.
He loves
See him all
walking
the time.
away from us quickly.
Yeah, hi, Dr. Kaku. He's a fucking
Did you
real
hear that story?
No, what happened?
He's one of the most brilliant guys in the world, lives in Jimmy's building, and I live next, across the street from Jimmy, and we see him in the neighborhood, and you want to just say, hey, man, Opie from,
We've had him on.
and he actually walks quickly away from you.
He's a
You
weird
should
dude.
shoot your orange beam of energy at him and see what happens.
I think because he's always thinking about real shit that he doesn't want to be distracted by a high.
Or he sees a bald guy and a bearded fucking weirdo, and he's like, this isn't happening again.
I am not your friend.
He was on the fucking show, though. You feel like you make some relationships with this horse shit.
Yeah, your logo's on by Velcro. Okay, how memorable do you think you are?
Dr. Steve. You got Michael Ian Black in the studio, Tom Papa, Bob Kelly, Jimmy, myself. And we're trying to figure out this gravity thing when you're outside the space shuttle.
Yeah.
I was saying that there have been astronauts that said that when they get like do a spacewalk for the first time, they've actually gotten scared because you feel like you're falling. Yeah. And can you explain what % gravity are you dealing with when you're?
Wait a second. You also said they are falling.
Well, they are
Plummeting towards the Earth.
No, but they're plummeting around the planet. That's kind of what it is.
The way orbit works is okay. So if you build a tower that was 150 miles tall, and that's
like
how high the space shuttle is. And if you step off of that tower, you will fall to Earth and plummet to your death.
Isn't that how tall your house is?
What's that?
Nothing.
No, it's a little callback.
That's what I thought. So, the way orbit works is they also have a velocity going in the lateral direction. So when they fall, they are always continually falling toward Earth, but they're also traveling at such a speed across the Earth that they miss it. So they're always missing the edge of the Earth and falling around it. And what's really happening, though, is you have no sense of that when you're out there. You're falling in a straight line, but the space itself is curved, so that you're traveling in a straight line in curved space. So you end up going round and round and round the Earth. So
Jimmy, you were right.
Yeah, no. Well, the astronauts when they get out, I guess it's just the visual of seeing the planet under you.
Yes.
A few of them have said that it's really fucking nerve-wracking.
I can imagine.
Now, is it okay to use when you describe that? Can you say when the fucking thing goes up?
Yeah, I really did kind of come upon it. The fucking the wheels came off quickly. The wheels definitely came off.
Does it feel like if you were to jump out of a plane? Does it feel like that kind of falling?
Yeah, I think it does. Have you seen the vomit comet?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
So the way that works is they do a parabolic curve. So they go down and you feel a couple of G's, and then when they go up, they actually are in free fall for a very short period of time. It's 20 seconds, something like that, and so you're falling at the same rate as the airplane is, and so you start to float inside the plane, and it's basically the same thing in space, except it's continual because you're continually falling and missing the Earth edge as you go.
What percent gravity?
Yeah, that doesn't sound like
what percent gravity are you dealing with at like when you're in space?
Well, it's slightly less, but you're still the gravity is the thing that's pulling you toward the center of the Earth, and it's your velocity that's making you miss the Earth. So you're really you're sensing no gravity at all because you're in free fall, but you are absolutely under the thrall of gravity, because if you weren't, you would just fly off into space and not be in orbit. So they've talked about making space elevators. Now, if you made a space elevator that was 22,000 miles, then you would be in geosynchronous orbit. And when you stepped out of that elevator, you would actually be in orbit, because that's the distance where geosynchronous satellites sit. So the satellite that broadcasts Sirius XM is in geosynchronous orbit. So as it orbits, it's always over the same part of the Earth.
Do you have any friends?
You're the same guy that talks about genital warts on your podcast, right?
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Can I ask a question about the space elevator? They
Will there be an operator for us?
I I want to know the playlist on that. I want to know. They feel like with this new carbon, this nanotechnology that they might actually have the technology to make this thing, right?
Right. Yeah, and actually, Arthur C. Clarke was a science fiction writer. He wrote 2001, and he wrote City in the Stars and a bunch of other stuff like that. He kind of invented the concept of the geosynchronous satellite in the 50s, saying, if you put a satellite out there at 22,000 miles, it will, as it orbits, it will orbit at the same speed that the Earth rotates, and it'll sit over there. And so he invented the communication satellite. Probably 20, maybe 30 years ago, he wrote and I can't remember the name of the book, but he wrote a book about the space elevator, and he postulated that they would use carbon nanofibers, and now they're actually talking about doing that. That fucking guy was amazing.
Wow. Let me ask you, why 22,000 miles? What does that mean?
Well,
it's math, Jimmy. Come on.
Oh, numbers.
It has numbers.
Yeah, that's the distance that if you're in orbit, you're going to orbit at the same speed that the Earth rotates. So that when you're in orbit, you will always see the same spot of the Earth below you.
Oh, you won't shoot around it. Okay.
Right, that's right.
So where's the bottom of the elevator?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would want to put it at the equator.
Is there stuff on the way up? Like, can you shop on the way up? Is there anything, or is it just, right straight to the top? Boom.
Yeah. How do they get? It's not like a real structure. So how do they get you up?
Yeah, it would be a real.
Yeah, it's literally an elevator.
A 22,000 mile elevator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have this framework, and then you would have to have some sort of motivator, an engine that would move this thing up the elevator, and you could stop at different places.
Oh, man, imagine getting stuck on the 3 millionth floor. Oh, that would suck. How long would it take, you think, to go to 22,000 miles?
Well, if you went 22,000 miles an hour, it would take you 1 hour. So it just depends on how fast.
Wait, break that down for me.
Are you telling me?
Would you be smaller when you got to the top?
Well, you couldn't do 22,000 miles an hour in the atmosphere once you cleared the atmosphere.
No.
When you come back, are your kids bigger?
Oh, wait. Would the elevator start on Earth or in space?
Yeah, it would start on Earth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you go up. And that's how you get up.
Why would you want to put it at the equator?
Well, just because that is the point between the poles where the Earth rotates. So
what you're saying is wherever the elevator stops, you're in geosynchronous orbit. So basically, you can only put one thing there, because when you put the second thing there, then you got to move the first thing over.
Right. You would have to move the thing over. You'd have to give it a little lateral movement.
That's really cool. So basically, it's going to be like a fucking, like a Zim-Zam. Do you remember Zim-Zam, that fucking paddle that would swing around? There's going to be a 22,000 mile stick swinging around the planet.
I mean, that lonely game you played by yourself?
Oh, yes, I did. Me and my mother were moving it and had a cement bottom, and I dropped it on her finger, and she went, "You fuck!" She called me a fuck.
My mom would have said that too if I said she had a cement bottom. That's terrible that you said that about your mother.
Oh, right on her. She's like, "Don't drop it, I won't." Right on her dumb finger. You fuck.
You
Dr. Steve, I want to ask you about something else.
Yeah.
What do you know about the Black Knight satellite?
Black Knight satellite.
Is it all just bullshit?
Hey.
Wow. Anyone else know the Black Knight satellite? No. Supposedly it's this object that they see in orbit, and it's a black satellite. They've named it the Black Knight satellite.
Black Knight? Wow.
And they don't know who put it up there. They have no record of anyone on Earth putting it up there. And some... I mean, this is far-fetched shit, obviously. Some believe it's like 13,000 years old.
I'm sure that's true.
Well, I know, but what have you heard about it? You never heard of...
No,
has it ever been debunked?
Here's the thing. There are hundreds of thousands of objects in orbit around the Earth that NASA tracks, and it's space junk. And astronauts may see some of these things. You hope that they never see one, because if it's that close that they're seeing it, it's a problem. And it may be something like, I mean, how would they get the picture of it otherwise?
Yeah. What is the average orbit? Is that the average orbit, 22,000 miles, or is
No. No, the space shuttle.
No, not the shuttle. I mean like other objects, all satellites.
Oh, it depends. Some of them are, the Chinese blasted were testing doing some sort of anti-satellite thing, and they blasted a satellite out of orbit, and now they created another 20,000 pieces of space junk, and some of them are as small as a grain of sand,
right.
and some of them are big pieces of junk, and it just depends on how fast they're moving compared to you. Some of these things, a grain of sand can punch a hole through the ISS.
And it's becoming a problem, right? All this space debris.
Yeah.
And is there a plan to clean it up?
Yes, there actually is a plan where they're going to take kind of a net and run it through the orbit quickly and try to capture some of this stuff, and then just take that net out of orbit and it'll just burn up in the atmosphere.
I don't like that you just blew off my Black Knight satellite thing. I see pictures of this thing, a video. In 1899, Tesla discovered an electronic signal that he believed was coming from space.
It's amazing.
Oh, can I ask one more question?
Sure.
Speaking of things from space,
Yeah.
there have been, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, these repeated radio bursts coming from, they think, deep space that defy kind of any physical explanation that they've been able to identify to this point. And they all coincide with a mathematical formula, right? A divisible by like 187.5 or something like that.
Wow.
And so they've basically ruled out any sort of natural phenomena that they know of, other than something that's happening here on Earth, a cell tower or something that they haven't been able to find. Do you know anything about this?
Well, I know about the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, and this is the kind of thing that they're looking for. And I follow that pretty closely, and I haven't heard of any credible signals that those guys who are, doing a deep sky survey looking for intelligent life have found yet. But they're searching.
You don't know Black Knight. You don't know this. What do you know?
What the fuck, man?
Genital warts.
But they are.
This guy's all about the warts.
Exactly.
Now, let me tell you something. There was a really cool thing that happened 30, 40 years ago where they found a signal in space. And it was so regular that it was impossible that it could be a natural thing. And they were, at first, really thought that it was an extraterrestrial signaling to us. And it turned out it was the discovery of the first pulsar, which is a neutron star that is a regular star that's collapsed and is spinning so fast, and it created new physics. And those kinds of discoveries are the things where we really learn some real shit. And we know they have to be out there. We can't be the only ones. And we're really within the next 20 years, the search has intensified to the point where they're sure that they will find something in the next 20
And some
years.
big mucky muck at NASA said that yesterday, right? That she thinks within the next couple decades we're gonna find definitive
right,
proof.
Because they're really
life.
ramping it up. But this signal, Michael, that you're talking about, I haven't heard about. So, and I think that the SETI guys are, they're pretty plugged into the media. If this was a credible signal, we would have heard about it already. But it could be you're just plugged into something that they've just discovered and they haven't announced yet. So,
can you imagine living on a neutron star? They spin like 600 times a second. You'd get so dizzy. My little space jokes.
It's all right. We'll bring you back to Earth on the elevator.
Oh God! Imagine drinking coffee on that thing. Oh, it'd be a bitch. Dr. Steve, thanks for your time.
All right, buddy.
See you soon. All right.
okay, man.
Bye, Steve.
Michio Kaku. What's your thoughts on him?
I think he got beat up a lot when he was a kid, just like I did, and so I have some empathy for him.
Do you not like him? Not because you think that he like he's too basic.
Yeah, I don't like it when he does the whole bubble bath universes and all those things. I mean, I was a Carl Sagan fan, and the cool thing that Sagan could do was to describe the wonder of the universe without talking down
without dumbing it down. Yeah,
without dumbing it down. And so, I mean, that's his approach to stuff. He used to irritate me, and then I thought about it, and it's like, I was being an asshole because he probably had a real hard time in school growing up, and now he's at the top of his field. So who am I to fucking shit?
And he's learned how to talk about things. Well, was Carl Sagan talking about just Einstein stuff, or was he talking about?
He talked about all that stuff, and just watch the original Cosmos, and he was so great at just explaining why this shit was fucking amazing.
By the way, thank you, Steve, for answering the dumbest ass question. Was he talking about Sagan shit or Hawking
Einstein
shit?
stuff and
Einstein or Hawking?
I wish I had this elevator right now.
Exactly. White hair or wheelchair? Which one was he talking about?
what about the bubble bath?
we got to wrap because we have.
Yeah, we got.
Oh, geez.
Burn Gorman from Game of Thrones is coming in shortly.
Yes. Okay. Dr. Steve, thank you. Weird Medicine, of course. Wonderful podcast.
10 p.m. Saturdays.
All right.
10
On
p.m.
this channel.
Saturday.
Nice. Okay, we got
a very quick break.
Michael Ian Black, Carolines. We got Tom Papa, Levity Live this weekend. We got Bob Kelly's special coming out, RobertKellyLive.com, coming out tomorrow.
Tomorrow, you can buy it tomorrow.
And then Uncle Vinny's Point Pleasant this weekend.
Saturday night.
And for Jimmy's dates, JimNorton.com.
Yep.
We'll be back.
More with Opie and Jim. After this. This fall, reality gets religion.
I believe in Allah. All praise be to Allah.
Allahu Akbar. I've been saying it for years.
The creators of Duck Dynasty are going back down south to find a different breed of redneck.
I pray 5 times a day facing east. Hell,
Oh,
brother.
yeah. If I kneel and I face Jiffy Lube.
That's my mecca, is Jiffy Lube.
Hell yeah.
Tune in Monday nights for Oklahoma Muslims.
All praise be to Allah.
Praise be to him.
Never before has assisted reality managed to cram so many stereotypes into one single half
There
hour.
is only one true God,
There's only one God. His prophet is Muhammad.
in the word of Muhammad.
It's Oklahoma Muslims all season long. Or until we have to apologize.
Allahu Akbar, motherfuckers. You heard it.
This is Opie Radio. The show is back.
We're back on the radio, waiting for Burn Gorman to come in. Roland can bring him in. Roland's just standing out there stupidly, not bringing our guest in. I don't know what he's promoting, though. He's promoting Turn. Hello.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Nice to see you. Good morning, gents.
Hey, guys.
Max, my
Hey, Max.
manager.
Hello, Max.
What's up, Max? How you doing, buddy?
Take a seat. We're actually...
Oh, sorry.
Oh, let's look around here.
Sit down, man.
Max has got a cool toy.
Yeah, man, we've been exploring. It's his first time in New York, so he's just enjoying FAO Schwartz and went to the show,
nice.
and you know.
Yeah.
Like Disney thing was better than,
Yeah.
like the FAO Schwartz.
Why don't you put him on a mic? So
Yeah, come up, talk. Come here, sit.
You sure?
Yeah, why not? Just tell him not to curse.
He won't stop. That's right. No cursing, okay? No cursing.
Bunch of stuff, just nothing that I didn't think anyone would want. Just like rocks,
Yeah, that's right. No, it was cool. We're FAO
rocks and
Schwartz.
stuff.
is he putting on the accent, or is that?
No, it's funny because I was born in the States.
American and English.
Yeah,
You can do an American
we
accent?
live in America now, so he goes back between the two, you know. So, but I was born in the States, raised in London, and Max was born in London, raised in the States. So,
Yeah, how old were you when you moved out of California?
I think I was about 8. My dad was a teacher at UCLA, and well, he was a hippie, and he wanted to go home. Is basically what the score was. So,
Never
yeah,
visits us.
Oh, so your dad's a Brit.
yeah, he's a
Our
Brit.
time.
Got it.
He's a Brit. Okay, we're not talking about the show, all right?
It's funny, every interview they just want to talk to the kid. They're like, all right, Burn, you got a project.
Can you let the kid sit down for a second?
Yeah, he's got all the secrets, you know.
So you moved out when you were 8 years old and you picked up the accent because you have no American accent at all.
Yeah, that's right. I've definitely got tapes of me as a kid with an American accent, but yeah, you just want to fit in, don't you? When you go home.
Can
to
you
school
can you
and
drop
stuff.
it now? Can you do a credible American
Well,
accent?
No, when he's in movies.
Is it terrible?
The kid's like, no, this is not at all believable.
It's true. Yeah, you're right.
Like the first time I said car in American, he said, "Get in the car."
Yes.
curve?
You cur?
Yeah, okay. I'm working on it, okay? I'm playing, yeah, I mean, I do American accent and stuff. Maybe not so much New York. It's very much a generalized, American.
Right.
Because obviously it's much more specific here, and even the boroughs are
Yes. I think we'd love to hear your generalized.
I would love to.
Oh my God, please.
No, please.
The British guys are always good at that,
They're
though.
very
half
good.
of
They're
The
much
Wire
better
is
than
from-
we are
yeah,
at doing
without a
British
doubt.
accent.
Yeah, all the guys from The Wire, right?
Yeah.
Idris,
Elba, Dominic West.
Dom, yeah. We're all coming over here to take your jobs on.
It really is humiliating. Everything about like a rugged real American is played by a Brit. We just can't
But
do
you
it.
actually pay over here as opposed to at home where you're.
Well, the tax rate's a
it's
little different,
public
isn't it?
service. Yeah. No.
Plus, we have like 9 seasons. They have like a season and it's over. You gotta go find a new
it's true.
job.
Kit Harrington's been in the building, I believe, and we were going to meet up this morning and have a sword fight, but we just missed each other.
Wait, he's here today?
Yeah, he was here. He's promoting some show he does. I can't remember what it's called.
I didn't know he was
Some
here.
Small thing, yeah.
How long were you on for?
I was only in for 2 seasons, and I was a massive fan, so I was like, I got in touch with him and I was like, I'll do anything on it. And so...
Were you requested to be on it?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean to my agent where I was like, look, if you can get me in, that'd be great.
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
I request to my agent all the time. Can I be in this? Can I be in that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't work.
No.
How does it work for you?
The only thing I get is this show.
I want to be on Game of Thrones. I just want to carry Peter Dinklage around. That's all.
Hodor. I could do that. Hodor. It's not hard.
So you played because I'm up on the show. So
Sure,
yeah,
right,
I love it.
yeah. Well, I played a jerk. I'm afraid with this face, I get to play those parts, but long may it continue, But I played Carl Tanner, and he was just a ne'er-do-well who was in charge of Craster's Keep, and had a great big fight with Kit. And for those who haven't seen it, I won't spoil it, but it was great fun. Fun.
So, but you won't be on this season.
No.
So, I guess people can surmise he moved. He moved to another location.
To the countryside.
He retired, as the people do on Game of Thrones.
How tough is it to shoot those sword fights? Did you have much stage combat training?
I had a bit, to be honest, anyway. The only restrictions is that we were filming inside. Kit had a big, I don't know if it's a broadsword, but it's a long sword. And there was a big fire in the middle. And also there was an inordinate amount of pig poop everywhere. So we were like kind of rolling around in that, and there wasn't much space to kind of, use the sword, etc., etc. But obviously they've got this amazing stunt team that have done, hundreds of fights now. But also, I feel a bit sorry for the different parts of the cast, because the Night Watch, they're all in, Iceland and Ireland, and the rest of them are like Croatia, Malta, getting the sun. Whereas it was pretty, my family's Irish, and I love Ireland, but it was pretty rainy and cold in Belfast, Yeah,
it just stinks to have to shoot those snow scenes when you see the rest of the show is shot in beautiful locations.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
I mean, it's a high class problem, isn't it? At least you're working on that great show, but
Yeah, it's really hard to go back to that, 5-star hotel.
yeah, that's right. It's so
yeah, it's a good point.
I need a steak. Yeah, my feet are so cold. Excuse me, get that PA to rub my foot.
massage. No. But the other thing is they're all a really good bunch of people. There's no jerks. They're just really good. They work really hard. And
I like the woman who plays Alita. What's her name? She plays Cersei.
Clarice.
Oh, Lena. Oh, she's a blast.
She's quite sexy.
Yeah, she is.
I met
just
her.
a
Did you really?
When I was doing Ferguson's show, she was on that night. She was really nice.
Yeah, she's
Lena
great.
Headley.
We know her a little. Yeah, she's great. Really, really, really top girl. Funny,
Tattooed, very
funny.
tattooed. I recall.
Yeah. She's pretty she's game for anything. Really
Why did you have stage training before? When he asked about that, why did you already have sword training? You said
drama school. You have to do this. I mean, I failed that miserably, but you have to do a sort of semester of sword, of sword fights. Basically, fencing.
I'm gonna let you guys a little behind the scenes peek behind the curtain of Broadway and the way the theater world works. When you're in training as an actor, you typically take stage combat classes in which sword play will be one of those one of the elements.
Just in case you ever get to play
That's
one
right.
of those many roles that have a sword. I mean, come on, I've failed.
Were you in an improv class in college?
No, it's a way, and it's all numbered, right? With sword fighting, it's a numbered system. So each move has a number, and there's like 7 or 8 basic moves that you do. And so when you choreograph a sword fight, you're basically going 1, 4, 5, 6, like that.
Yeah, that's what they tell you, and then you actually do the thing with some mad actor who's been out the night before.
Well, don't get me wrong, I've never been hired to do this. This is all theoretical.
It can get quite dangerous. I've seen lots.
Did you
of
ever get your
shows.
fingers smashed?
All the time. Yeah, I've definitely got some scars from Game of Thrones. Just
Are they real swords?
They are not real, but they are weighted, and so if if somebody misses you, it does hurt a little bit, not much.
Oh, okay. But I didn't realize you had to take class that was part of drama. I didn't go to drama school. If you see me act, you'd never know. No.
Really?
Yeah, no, I know. It really
didn't
is,
go?
It's a gift. I mean, it's one of those things. I show up.
You and Mr. Roper went to the same school.
Yeah. I've got to say, you also have to take classes. You need a pair of jazz shoes, and I was always the guy at the back of the class, desperately trying to keep up. They're teaching you all these things which you're never going to use. But yeah. Yeah, it's like.
Well, do you want to be an actor when you grow up?
Yes, I mean,
not you.
You do?
You do?
Oh no, you heard it here first. No, seriously, you want to be an actor?
Why don't you get him a job on Game of Thrones as one of those little kids?
I'm not going to help you. You have to do it yourself.
Well, we may get an agent for my 9th birthday, which is in 2 months.
You're going to get an agent for your 9th birthday?
Not for nothing. The kid's got a lot of charisma.
Yeah.
He really does.
Yeah.
It's very smart thinking. For your 9th birthday, I want an agent.
It's better than paying for school.
Yeah.
Here's some headshots.
It's a lot nicer than what I got for my 9th birthday. I got a beating.
I got a cake with a fist in it.
All right, I won't say that. I'm happy you're here. So what do you do when you're in New York besides just going to the toy store?
This was Max's first time, so we went to see a show last night.
What'd you see?
Finding Neverland. It's at the.
Really good.
Michael Jackson story?
It was great. That's right.
Is that what it is?
No, it's.
I really thought that's what it was. I don't have kids.
I'm not sure.
That's a good show to take your kids to. The Michael Jackson story.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a meet and greet after just for the kids.
Close your ears, mate. Yeah. No, it was Finding Neverland. It's in the Luntfontein Theatre, I believe. Matthew Morris and Kelsey Grammer. It was a really good show.
It was sad.
Very sad. Don't give away any spoilers.
At the beginning, everybody oh, bravo. At the end, they're like, okay.
A little sad.
Everybody's dying.
No, don't.
That's okay. Spoil it. Good. Everyone dies.
I don't feel like this audience is going to see Finding Neverland anyway. I could be wrong.
Yeah, not at all.
Right.
I really wasn't even kidding when I said that. I thought that was about. I was dead serious.
Jeez.
I mean, if it was a joke that bombed, I would have immediately just acknowledged it, but I meant it. I'm not
terrible.
a cultured man. Well, it could have been something about him.
Yeah, it could have.
There could have been.
Yeah.
All right. So, what kind of toys did you buy?
Mostly pop toys.
Yeah, like from the from Age of
I
from
got
the
Jack,
Avengers.
Teller,
Sons of Anarchy. Like these little toys from the shows.
Captain
Yeah.
America and that cyborg, I forgot it.
Ultron.
Do you watch? No. Do you let your son watch Game of Thrones?
I want to. I really do.
No, it's too violent, right?
It's too
I
violent.
don't
the
like
moment.
trailers.
Yeah, you wouldn't like it. A lot of naked girls. It's no good.
Yeah.
No good.
Maybe one day, but not at the moment.
Did you bring him on set with you? You ever been on set with your dad?
Did you? Yeah, with Turn we did.
Yeah.
Turn's the show that we've been working on in Richmond.
Oh yeah, it comes out this Monday at 9:00 on AMC.
Is that the second or third season?
It's the second season and on AMC, but we're so excited about it this year. The first year, essentially, it's a really fantastic spy story, true story. Washington set up this extremely successful spy ring, and the reason it was so successful, it didn't get discovered until the 1930s. That these small group of essentially farmers and whatever from a place called Setauket, Long Island, right? They set up this incredibly important spy ring, and we're in the second season now. And it's incredible. Really, really looking forward to it.
Who is the spy ring going
Tom,
after?
will you stop touching your microphone? Are you driving me
the
batty?
English. I also play a Brit. I play a major in charge of the town. And us guys basically came over and occupied. It was an occupied. It was a war.
And who ends up winning the war?
Well, I don't know. I never learned that at school. I seem to remember it might.
Spoiler alert!
It's a great show. I've seen maybe 5 or 6 of the first season. I'm not all caught up, but it's fascinating because it's a true story of the spy network that our commanding officer George Washington set up.
We had to bring my sister to the premiere, and one drip of blood, she just buried her head into my mum's lap.
Yeah, she
didn't like the blood.
One drip of blood.
Yeah,
a lot more than a drip of blood.
Yeah, I like a good bloody movie.
Yeah, I do.
But the without being too boring about it, but it is actually the story of the founding, of America. And I think as an English guy, we don't learn about it.
Oh, no.
Really?
Not
What
really.
what story do you get told?
You ever hear the tea story?
I mean, they say, something happened over there. And
they accidentally knocked tea into the water.
We let them go.
We could have kept it.
We left because they threw out all our tea.
That's right. Yeah. But we genuinely. Unless you study history, of course you would learn about it. But at school, you're not. It's not forced down your throat. So to find out really about the truth of the matter was that if King George had been a little bit less mad, I suppose, and had been a better politician, but perhaps we still would have been together. But we came over and really treated you guys badly. So I think the best.
I accept your apology.
Yes. Yeah.
Wait, what was King George's problem?
He was insane.
Oh, he was crazy.
And he was fighting these wars on all these fronts, against France and Spain and whatever, and he needed money, and he decided that, the colonies... that's right. He was going to just keep taxing you guys, and thankfully, some very clever people got together and started...
What percent tax was he throwing?
Well, they had this thing called the Stamp Act, which was essentially every single piece of paper letter that was sent needed to have a stamp on it. And that was the kind of nail in the coffin, because it just wasn't, a lot of taxes aren't fair, but that one was just ridiculous.
Yeah, that hasn't gone away. We still need stamps.
Yeah, but it was on everything. It was on everything, like every single piece of paper that you sent. It was official business, And also, you were an occupied... country that you had to, there's an example in the show of soldiers living in the houses of the citizens here. You had to put them up and feed them, and we did not behave well.
What'd you do?
Good. Well, I can't go into exact details, but I just mean in terms of.
It was oppressive.
Yeah, and there was a lot of people who didn't know which side they were on. There was people who were loyal to the crown, living here, and they were treated badly as well. There was an army to feed.
Right.
And so if there was, crops or animals, livestock, whatever, they would just take it, really. Yeah.
So basically it was occupied and you guys kind of took what you wanted.
It was like that. And so this story, about these spies, they were like the original, the guerrilla tactics used. There was no textbook about spycraft.
Yeah, what kind of tactics did Americans use to get rid of them? I mean, there was no suicide bombers back then, but what did we do to get rid of people?
There was certainly insurgency, as it would be called, and also it was basically Washington and a number of other people put modern spycraft together back then. Invisible ink, which of course wasn't around. There was a thing called a cardan grill, which was it was just a very sophisticated way of keeping codes, because essentially spying was a very ungentlemanly thing. If you got caught, you were hung the next day. There was no honour about it. It was something which nobody wanted to be involved in, actually, if you were a gentleman or, in the army. And so, Washington was using these new techniques, and that's what the show is about, like how it all started and turned the tide of the war,
Wait, invisible ink was from back then?
Yeah, it was...
Also invisible cars, which James Bond later picked up. But
Invisible plane at the old WW. How does invisible ink work?
Well,
by the way, I think you're someone who has smarter questions than I'm asking. I'm just legitimately curious now.
You're like the guy that works. He's the guy that works at Spencer's Gifts.
I still use invisible ink. Yes, I wish my contract was written in. How does that?
Well, like, there were different. There were definitely different chemicals used, but in the one that they show in our particular show, the ink that they used could only be seen with the reciprocal chemical. So I think, I don't know exactly what it was, but it wasn't just lemon juice, it was a very sophisticated. Sometimes they would write in the inside of eggs. The print would go through the egg but not show on the outside, so that was a way of,
How do you write inside an egg?
Well, you would do it.
Get a chicken to do it.
That's right, the chicken.
Who show on Travel Channel? How do you do everything?
Don't you want to know how you write inside an egg?
I know how you write an egg.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do. You get a pen, you open the egg, you write inside.
Exactly. You put the yolk back in?
Yeah, you put it back in.
So they wrote on eggshells?
They wrote on eggshells and it went through the egg. But watch the show, it explains it much better than 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning.
All right, I just want to know.
You're asking lousy questions.
Yeah, I know I am. But I think they're actually very good questions because I want to know
how the kid's rolling his eyes every time you ask a
he's
question.
seen this. He knows how to write on an egg. I've never written on an egg. I've never heard of it before.
You're boring a 9-year-old.
Well, that's good as an adult.
You know how hard that is to do?
You're also asking basic American history questions.
Yes, I am.
So tell me, how's Washington, what were his tactics?
I don't understand. Stamp act.
I'm embarrassed
nice to us.
Yeah, we still got to do stamps, right?
Yes, well, it was fair. I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I'll say that when you first said you were occupied here and it was in Long Island, I literally thought it was in the 1900s. I had no idea what you were talking about. I honestly did not. I'm not even being kidding. I didn't catch that.
You didn't.
I was busy.
So you are aware of what century the Revolutionary War took place?
Yes, I am. It's the old 1700s, 1776. That's a big year for us.
It's one of my favorite flags.
But this is it. A lot of, I wasn't taught it in history. It's not just a very dry, boring history show, though. It really is genuinely exciting, and I'm proud to be part of it. I really, specifically in this second season, you see a lot of Washington, and it's kind of
who plays Washington?
He's a guy called Ian Khan. He's a New York born and bred actor. He gives a fantastic portrayal, because when you're playing somebody like that, you've got two choices. You've either got to, kind of present him set in aspic, and people have preconceptions about what Washington was like, but what we wanted to show in the show, and you do see throughout the season, is him as the man. He makes mistakes. He makes big mistakes.
Having seen the show, I think the choice to have Washington in blackface is a little weird.
Yeah, it's a really weird choice to have Yaphet Kotto playing Washington, but So it was kind of like Daniel Day-Lewis when he did Lincoln. It's like he played this guy who told corny jokes, and the voice was weird. It was like he played him as a real guy instead of like this stereotype Gregory Peck thing.
Is it all factual? Everything factual? They take any leeway for the script?
And you thought my questions were stupid. That's a terrible question. Are there any planes in this?
It's an actual good question.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Thank you.
What's he going to say? He's being polite.
He said Jim's questions were good too.
Yes, they were.
No, he didn't.
The timeline is absolutely correct. Most of the people involved in it were real characters.
Right.
And that was another thing that we felt, there's a sense of responsibility. These were real people, real heroes. They were really real heroes.
So you see the Brits as the villains in this?
Well, I play a guy who's a British general, British major, and he's basically a middle manager. Not everyone involved in warfare or war is a hero or a villain, are they? A lot of them are just doing their jobs, and it's a hard job. And
is your character fictional though?
There was a Major Hewlett, and he was involved in a battle in Setauket, but then we've sort of taking him on a journey after that.
That was apparently a good question then.
Yeah.
Thank you for
good
that.
One, Robert.
Thank you, Tom.
I think what a lot of people don't know is that the British occupied New York for the duration of the war.
That's right.
It was all British.
Desert Storm?
Philadelphia and New York with the crowns, and New York specifically because, that's where the Navy was, and we were desperate, the English were desperate the British were desperate to keep hold of it. And there's a lot of that. The reason why all this happened around here was because you were able to get from Long Island to, able to move around. The spies were able to do that across the Sound and do it very quickly. Washington needed information really quickly about troop movements, troop numbers in New York. It was really important what they were doing. And that's why it turned the tide of the war, because he was getting this information very, very quickly from the horses.
How do you spy back then, though? Like, wouldn't the accent give it away?
They were Americans.
Yeah, they were. They were.
Jim. My God. This is literally the worst thing to do.
I asked questions. I can't
Where's
answer.
Opie?
I'm curious. Where's Opie? He went and hung himself.
That's why all this stuff is on Velcro.
I think as a boy, it's okay to ask questions that you don't know the answer. Someone once told me the only stupid question is the one you don't ask. That's apparently been incorrect information.
Nathan Hale got caught, right? A lot of people got caught and they got hung.
But Nathan Hale was really caught.
He was really caught.
See?
Absolutely. He was.
Good question.
He just said that.
I know.
He said it. You didn't
I'm
ask it.
reiterating.
That's right.
I want to reiterate.
And Benedict Arnold, you know who he is, right?
Absolutely.
Okay,
He was
so-
an egg maker.
he is in the show. He comes in season 2. It's a really, really, really good performance. But people have preconceived ideas about Benedict Arnold as well.
Was he really not a traitor? He got like a bad rap, I think, in American history.
Well, he was a traitor, but he was
okay.
also an amazing.
Incorrect.
He was
He had a great
an
rap.
amazing.
got a
leader.
bad rap.
He was an incredible on battlefield.
And he
was-
basically switched sides because he got his feelings hurt, right? More or less.
Well, it's pretty complex, isn't it? But we
Oh, we
showed
know
in
about
this
that.
season. Basically, he had some terrible injuries.
What happened to him?
He at the battle. Well, I think it's in episode 4. You see him come off his horse, and there's a lot of stuff between him and Washington. Washington saying, "You need to now come off the battlefield," and that was a huge part of Benedict Arnold's turning, as it were, is that he felt slighted. He wanted the glory.
He felt that George humiliated him and he was going to get even.
He was a big baby.
Big baby.
Yeah, essentially. But he was an incredible leader.
He's a great tactician as well.
Tactician.
Turn coat.
I can talk science. I can talk history. Whatever you want to talk, Jimmy.
All right.
Can you take over this interview?
Well, I think we're all just kind of chiming in with our questions.
I've never seen anybody here to promote a show about American history instead of actually talking about the show, getting quizzed on the historical details.
Well, I think
because
that's
the
what-
host was completely unaware.
I did the morning as well. Okay.
I think it's very fair questions. I don't know how invisible ink works. I didn't know it's chemicals. I had no idea how that works.
I don't know how people could be spies. How did they get away with it?
How do you
It's
spy back in the
impossible.
day?
He's got to move on to his next interview. Lucky for him.
Okay, well,
Indeed.
I think that we can.
Indeed.
Come on, this is more fun than just giving storyline. Like,
I hear you.
What do you mean getting storyline?
Yeah,
Can your son-
exactly.
The storyline
You
is
can go, but-
history.
Yeah, it's a little twisted, the history, though. The whole tea thing never happened. My mistake with Benedict Arnold.
Tea thing did happen. That did happen.
It really did happen.
That did happen. But to make it all clear, please watch.
Yeah, AMC.
Turn,
Monday
right?
evening.
AMC has great
It's
stuff.
on at 9 of
It's
Monday
Washington.
evening.
Sorry, but it's Turn Washington Spies. It's 2-hour season 2 premieres this Monday at 9 at AMC, and they have nothing but amazing shows. And it's Bern Gorman on Twitter. So if you want to follow Bern or comment on my questions,
And I'll give you whatever historical facts you
please do.
You could learn something.
They say George Washington has wooden teeth.
Yes, I was actually going to ask you about that.
Oh, Jesus.
He has hippo teeth, not it's actual
Hippo teeth?
Yeah.
Oh, so is our own Eric Nagel.
Oh, you taught me something.
They're natural.
George Washington had hippo bone teeth. There you go.
Wooden teeth.
Yeah.
They weren't wooden?